Wisdom Challenge. What's going on? It's your boy Rico Macadori here. Want to come and talk just for a minute. A couple of takeaways that I saw today. Once again, a very powerful session on the Wisdom Challenge, and this has been exciting. And wow, what a time that we've had. I really think that today for me, I really love the testimony of someone who really didn't have to, who was definitely a multimillionaire, but she really didn't like floss it because people have different ways of doing things. I thought that was so unique and so powerful, and how unashamed that she was about that. I mean, I think that was great. And I don't know, just that it kind of sticks with me about looking at people who you would never know they're very, very prosperous in in certain things. Most times we think, well, they got to flaunt and flash, but they don't. And I thought that was so powerful. Um, and with this Proverbs, the 14th chapter of Proverbs, one verse that stood out to me out of all this, couple of things. Verse 17, short-tempered people do foolish things, and schemers are hated. Right? Um, which is why I believe the inner healing of what Pedro's been talking about and the team's talking about today, and if not in this, I know in another, in acceleration, I believe how important that is, because most times a short-tempered person is someone who's already irritable about something, and that could be an area where they need to be delivered from, right? But most times, if you're short-tempered and get hot-headed, you'll just do something out of emotion, and then you don't think about it at the moment, but you're so hot and you just want to do something. It's like you just want to break something. You just get like Hulk, and you just want to just smash something, right? But then you end up like, man, gee. You look back on it and you look at what damage has been done, right? And then we can just do some foolish things when we're very upset, right? That verse stood out to me. And then another verse that stood out to me is verse 23. Verse 23, and I think another verse. Verse 23, it says, work brings profit, but mere talk leads to poverty. Like, that's just another, these proverbs are like really like nice punches in the gut. Like, for real, why you got to do this to me, Solomon? Why you got to really, give me one right here, or give me an uppercut, or give me one in the gut, man? That just really hit. But it was just something. A lot of people can be talking and saying their own things like, I'm going to do, but never do. And the longer we say I'm going to do and never do, then poverty is like definitely right there at the door. It leads to it, because it's not the talk of it, but it's really the action from the talk that's said. Um, and so that stood out to me as well. And then lastly, um, people with understanding control their anger, but a hot temper shows great foolishness. Being hot tempered can get you in trouble. I mean, sometimes it's like you can go through a brick wall because you're led by your emotions and you're hot tempered. But then what ends up happening is you're like, man, at some point, man, my head hurts because I went through that wall, and at the time when I was emotional, my adrenaline was like bumping, like, let's do it, right? So this was a very interesting proverb today, and what was said, I love the authenticity and the realness of what Pedro said as well. That in the kingdom, there's really no fronting. Either you real or you ain't, right? Because in the kingdom, your heart gets so convicted and touched that there's a transformation that takes place from the inside out, not the outside in. So that's what I wanted to share. Those takeaways. I didn't want to not get too far away from this, from the Wisdom Challenge. And even though, being in acceleration, but I wanted to shoot a video here and just talk about what I learned as a takeaway today. So hope you got something. Thank you again, Pedro, and all the 100X team. It's been amazing. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.